Hey, hi everybody, my name is Chris. Welcome back to my channel. Every day I'm doing a vlog, and I'm doing it for 1,000 days, guys. Yes, 1,000 days. And every day I talk about something uniquely different. Today, I've got a special guest here on my channel. I'll let him introduce himself and what he does, but so I'm Chris. Who are you?
I'm Kamil. I'm a psychotherapist and counselor, and I finished recently post-graduation study clinical psychology.
Okay, Kamil, thank you so much for joining me today and coming on the channel. I really appreciate you, honestly, genuinely. I'm sure everybody out there does too, so thank you. Look, I guess there's so many themes about mental health that people can talk about, and today, I guess, you know, people experience so many different things. In your estimation, what do you think is one of the key things that people sort of experience in modern life?
I think very often people come to me with depression, anxiety, as well with loneliness, they carry a lot of negative beliefs or negative cognitions about themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I cannot trust the others, I cannot trust myself. That's why it's a work around self-esteem a little bit as well.
Yeah. And how about loneliness? I know that factors in an awful lot of people's lives. Do you deal with that very much?
Yes, that's very common, and we have a tendency to think that loneliness is when you are single and you don't have a partner, because of course it's important to be in relationship. It's important to have that connection with the other human being. But loneliness, it's not only about that. Loneliness, it's about carrying negative cognitions about ourselves and lack of trust to the other people, and not having go-to person, really. You can be in happy relationship and you can feel lonely. Or you can be in relationship and you can feel lonely because you're really not talking, there's no communication, you don't have anyone to talk to about the difficulties, and that very often comes from past experiences and attachment styles as well. If there are like 4 main attachment styles, how we attach to any relationship. And one of them is avoidance, and a lot of people carry that attachment style. And people who carry avoidance, it's difficult for them to talk about the difficulties and explore that so much. And very often they carry the negative belief about the people around, that I can trust myself, but I cannot trust the other person. That's why it's so difficult to open up. And those people comes to me, and they don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have. It's difficult for them to talk to about their difficulties, and they feel really lonely with their difficulties, or they feel really lonely with their negative experiences and the feelings, and we all carry like a buckets inside of us, and we're collecting negative experiences, and the strongest coping strategy is go to person, talk to someone and explore the difficulties, feelings behind that. Where do you feel that in your body? Then scan your whole body and connect the bodily sensations with feelings, and a lot of people, they not do that within the couples or when they single as well, and they not exploring that because it's difficult to trust the others. They had in the past they have a negative experiences, and which caused them to believe that it's difficult to trust the others, and this is the biggest issue with the loneliness, I think.
How do people sort of present themselves to you in terms of if they recognise first of all there's an issue in their life, and they just reach out to you and they ask you if it's something that you could help with? Is that the basic principle?
Yes. First, what we do,
Yeah.
we need to work around self-awareness. That's
Yeah.
why this is the first step. Really step back from their life and look of the patterns of behavior and how they act, what they believe in, and then we're recognizing belief system. Afterwards, like I said before, those negative cognitions, like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm alone. There's so many of them. And I cannot trust the others, I need to be perfect and please everyone. There's so many negative cognitions. We need to recognize them. And then what we need to do, we need to find out where they comes from. That's why we're creating the timeline of the negative experiences and we match the belief system with those experiences. This is what's in that bucket, really. That's why we need to take away everything what's in that bucket, what we carry there, and then of course learn the positive coping strategy to not fill in that bucket again after we remove everything from that bucket. We need to work around not fill in that bucket again.
Can I ask, is there a specific a cognition that people have? Is there one thing that all people have that come to the table, or is it just generic and it's specific to the individual?
I think it depends. It depends of the people. That's why it depends of your background. It depends of your connection with the parents.
Right.
That's why it depends of that as well.
Yeah.
That's why I think we all carry, there's a one core negative cognition which we carry and the other one comes from that. For example, I'm not good enough, that's why I need to be perfect. I'm not good enough, that's why I cannot trust myself.
That's so fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say that because I recognise myself in that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, that's just amazing, isn't it? And I guess the reward for you is, I mean, it's meaningful work, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
When you see the change in people, it's so amazing. And you see the progression and how they starting believing themselves. And then, of course, with the loneliness, there's a work around trusting the others and the work around processing past experiences and to be able to and me and client creating like a psychotherapy relationship which they trusting me. And I'm the example of that you can trust somebody else and you can talk about the difficulties and then they're applying that forward. That's why maybe there is a person they can trust, there is a person they can open up. And there's a lot of online or self-helping groups where they can, if they carry one difficulty, which is addiction or something else, and they can share with the other people who are going through that. That's why I think that's a good idea. Even you can do online. You don't need to you don't need to be on the camera. You can type it in
But surely I think there's probably greater value in actually seeing somebody, because when you have that one-to-one interaction, sometimes I felt in my life, if I've had a conversation with somebody in person, I've kind of I've taken that on board more. Does that make sense? Yeah, we're all bombarded with all sorts of images on social media and all the other places, but sometimes I think when you have that personal connection with people, that can have more resonance.
Yes, but it's better even to have any connection than none. That's why I think if you want to start from connection online with somebody and with a online group, then that's great. That is an amazing first step to be able to trust somebody and to be able to build that trust.
As a healthcare, mental health care professional, how do you find it? Is it easy for people to trust you right from the get-go?
No. No, definitely not.
No.
And we need to build that trust. That's
Yeah.
why the connection, the therapy connection between therapist and the client builds from, I don't know, after a few sessions
Yeah.
and people starting open up. Sometimes I worked with the client for a year and then client brought,
Really?
which is the biggest issue really. But as a therapist you feel that there is something which still client hold on to and not telling you. You feel that and you give client space, and then when you build better relationship, you bring that to the client, your feeling, your internal feeling that the client still hold on to something and not sharing with me. And then the client open up and then we talk about that.
Well, you know what? I mean, that is the best when you can get it all out and
Yes.
know what you're dealing with, I guess.
Yes,
But
yes.
do you find some people just can't release, can't let it go?
I think
Can't open up?
it's eventually. I think it's avoidance attachment, definitely, and
Yeah.
fearful as well.
Yeah.
But very often people with anxious attachment, they dive in very quickly.
Really?
But as well, with the therapy, like what I do, it's not only working around self-awareness, it's
Yeah.
working around dealing with those issues. That's why I bring the tools. I'm using EMDR therapy as well, and to be able to process those experiences, remove what's in that bucket. And that's important as well for the client to start life without like heavy luggage. Imagine yourself that you carry like a heavy luggage of your past unprocessed experiences, and the weight of the luggage is like 30 kilo, and you go into the forest and you want to enjoy the forest, you want to enjoy the sounds of the birds, the greenery around, but you carry 30 kilo rucksack. That's impossible. That's why you cannot enjoy everyday life. You cannot find those meaningful, beautiful things. That's why first the importance is to process those experiences from the past which you carry in that rucksack, and then you'll be able to go to the forest and enjoy the time being mindful.
You know, you made that sound incredible, but it's so very real. Is there any quick fixes in your estimation for, say, things like depression or anxiety? Is there anything that immediately that people should do?
I think coping strategies. You can learn to cope with that, and the coping. But of course, you need to. I believe you need to process of those experiences because they are roots of the depression or anxiety or low self-esteem or even difficulty with rage and anger.
Yeah.
Those are past experiences, and important is to process them. But of course, the coping strategies like breathing exercises, like mindfulness, like meditation, all of those can help to calm you down a little bit. And but the importance is to be able to, if you don't want to go to the therapy, to be able to build a relationship with someone around talking about the difficulties, definitely. But of course, I know that's not easy, and I know that but there are ways to as well start that with yourself, like journaling, writing down everything, or recording yourself, your difficulties every day on the phone.
Yeah.
And listening back, because you can learn from yourself a lot. That's why that is a good idea, definitely.
So it's a cathartic thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You hear yourself talking about the very issue that you're trying to confront and deal with, but hearing yourself, it makes it, I guess it makes it real then.
Yes.
Is that what you need it
Yes,
to be?
but as well help you to process that.
Yeah.
That's why you can listen yourself, you can have a light bulb moment. Wow, did I really say that?
Yeah.
That's why that can help a lot.
Yeah.
And then maybe natural progression will be open up to someone else. That's
Yeah.
why you can start from there.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's magical stuff, and I'm only too grateful. There are times in my life I've needed to lean in on people, and you know, to get the help that I felt that I've needed. We all experience stress at times, haven't we?
Yes.
Difficult times in our life.
Yes.
And I always
Yes.
say, everybody's fighting a war you know nothing about. Is that your experience, do you think?
Yes.
At times people do have
Yes.
difficulties?
Yes, but what we do and what will be good with the stress, maybe measure the stress and look for the triggers.
Yeah.
That's why you can work around that by yourself.
Yeah.
What's that mean? That you can measure, for example, from 0 till 10, how high this, where 0 is not at all and 10 is the highest stress you can imagine.
Yeah.
And measure that and see really where you are, and then look for the triggers. What's causing that? That's why journaling or recording is really good for that.
Got you.
Because you can really find those things,
Yeah.
and you can
Yeah.
really maybe try to work around them.
Yeah.
That's why you can help yourself, definitely. But I think the important part is to share your difficulties, and that's why the therapy is so good, because if you have a difficulty, to share your deepest things, or because very often the feelings like fear, shame or embarrassment stopped us from sharing things. And very common is shame. We don't want to share shame with somebody else, but that when we share with the therapist, when we share with someone else, that shame will go away eventually. Because it's normalized, that it's not so bad, and you'll be able to step back from experience and look from totally different angle.
Amazing, isn't it? And you know, I remember growing up, and my mum, God bless her, she always used to say, look, Chris, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yes.
And that's an old saying, but it really just touches on what you just said, really, doesn't it?
And as well, the difficulty for a lot of people is, I don't want to be heavyweight for the other person.
Yeah.
But you can, it's a rule, 50-50. I can talk about my difficulties and you can talk about yours.
Yeah.
And I will talk like 15 minutes about my difficulties, and you talk 15 minutes about your difficulties, and we're leaving our problems in the middle. That's why we not carry those problems. That's why it's a fair way to go forward.
It's equitable, isn't it? And that's a good way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, look, I really appreciate your time today. I'm going to say thank you so much.
Thank you
very
very
much. I
much.
appreciate you. How do people find you?
Online, very often. I have my own website. That's why if they would like
I'll just put it up on the screen, just here below. You'll see it now.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I work. My office is in Royal William Yard. I work online as well.
Yeah.
That's why if somebody would like to contact me and maybe work with me, I'll be very happy with that.
Okay,
definitely.
so people can definitely reach out to you.
Yes.
And using those forums, I'll put them in the comments box below as well. And I think all that's left to say is I'm really grateful to you. I've learned so much today. I'm so lucky that you've come along today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well.
I'm sure everybody out there is really appreciative as well. Look, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you've got something out of this today. I'll be back again tomorrow as part of my daily vlog series. If you could subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.